Hey, good morning, guys. Happy Tuesday. So today we do have yet another review video on the docket, and we are going to be looking at Grapplers and Gimmicks new releases, which are going to include a 2-pack of the Rougeaus Brothers, as well as the newest release of the British Bulldog, Davy Boy Smith. Now, there actually is a secondary release of the British Bulldog, along with wife Diana, but that 2-pack has not yet arrived, so right now we're just looking at just these 3 figures. So, the first figure we are going to look at is this variant of the British Bulldog, and kind of give you the first glance at the figure as we see him on card. Now, this one is the figure that I was crazy excited about getting in. Now, I did actually get 2 of these figures, so I was able to open up one. And you see this right here? This is why it's important for me to get at least 2 pieces of these figures at all times. Because, yeah, I'm a mint on card collector, got it. It is important for me to have the figures on card because I love to be able to look at the card and look at the back and generally see what I'm missing. Because no matter what you're purchasing, you could be purchasing Ninja Turtles. You could be purchasing 90s Power Ranger toys. It doesn't matter. Whatever toy line you're acquiring, generally the back of the card is going to show you different figures from that particular series, or even if there's multiple series, potentially all of the figures from the line sometimes. Like Big Rubber guys, they're basically showing you series by series. As every series continues, they'll show you the previous series all in the back of the card, and I love that. That is so freaking awesome. So it's important for me to have mint on card figures, and value. At the end of the day, it's always about value. It's hard for me to open up the figures because you're decreasing the value of the figures tenfold, and I hate that. Of course, I look at Hasbro's today. You got a 1, 2, 3 kid, mint on card. That card's going to sell for anywhere between $1,200 to $2,500. Same exact figure. You open up the package, take it out, put it on auction. You get maybe $600 for it, which is crazy amount of money for a darn 4-inch piece of plastic, right? But that's why I must have mint on card figures. But ever since I decided I wanted to make YouTube videos and kind of enjoy this community of nostalgia, and that's what these figures are for me. They're nostalgic. They bring back nostalgic memories. So getting them loose to be able to talk about them is important as well. And this right here, you cannot see this on the back of the card, okay? Look at the graphics and detail that go into the design of this action figure. Now, I want to back up a little bit. Think 1990s Hasbro. When I was a kid, me and my brothers, my mom obviously bought us, some Hasbro figures. As I started collecting over the last couple of years, I counted out the figures that I actually had as a kid, and it came out to be 17 Hasbro, 7 Galoob. So, among them, the most respected and most utilized figures were the 3 figures that we had from Series 4, which included this British Bulldog. I will always have an affection for this British Bulldog figure for that particular reason. Hands open, I mean, this never really bothered me as a kid. This was always, the Ultimate Warrior, the Series 1 Hulk Hogan figure. They were always fun, enjoyable figures. Today, maybe I prefer closed fist for punching and whatnot, but, I mean, that's just, if you're going to actually sit down and actually wrestle them, right? I mean, it's not happening, but it could be. Sometimes when I get new figures in, I kind of goof off and like just a little bit, just kind of see how they operate a little bit, but I don't sit there having full on matches, but I want to. I want to have matches, but I just can't find the time, and I get bored easily. So I think I sit down for like 2 minutes. I'm like, nah, I can't do this. I love this figure, but man, is that an authentic look, and I feel like more realistic in some terms, even though he is a much more slimmed down figure in comparison, right? So Hasbro's will always be number one. No other toy line will ever take over the number one slot from Hasbro. But this is amazing. And when I first saw this, I thought, oh man, they did the whole wonky arm thing. I don't like it. And then I realized, no, wait, that's not what that is. It's just an extended arm type of deal. And I'm so used to seeing this, right? And thinking Hasbro and getting with the wind up. So I'm so used to having this figure swing back forward, and that's not happening. But it is a beautiful, beautiful figure. The great design of the boots. So kind of looking at this figure, I'm thinking that this is probably around the 1996, 1997 era. Now, around February of 97, I think that episode was probably released or was taped in like February, probably aired like March of 97. It was the first, I believe it was the first European Championship. And I'm thinking, I remember semifinals was Owen Hart against Bret Hart, and Owen Hart won to make it to the finals. I'm thinking Davey Boy Smith defeated Vader, if I'm not mistaken, and he pushed into the finals, and teammates British Bulldog defeated Owen Hart to win the first European Championship. So that's where I believe this look came from. But with the whole Hart Foundation, with Bret, Owen, Davey Boy, and you also threw in Brian Pillman at the time. Love the figure. It is fantastic. I'm curious because right off the top of my head, I can't picture what the 2-pack of Diana and Davey Boy look like. I don't remember them using the same figure or not, or same pose, body type. So I'm kind of really curious what they went with on that particular figure. I'm hoping it's going to be more like 92 era when Intercontinental Championship changed hands. And then you had that beautiful family moment with Bret, Diana, and Davey Boy in the ring afterwards. This is a grade A. This is fantastic. Definitely approve. And the Rougeaus Brothers. Now, obviously, I remember partially the Quebecers. I'm obviously mostly familiar with the Mountie, but so I know Jacques Rougeau, but his brother Raymond, I know very little or probably next to nothing. The Rougeaus, I think this is 1980s, if I'm not mistaken. I doubt this was a 1990s team up. So I think the Rougeaus Brothers were in the 80s, and I think the Quebecers were in the 90s, and I could be wrong about that. I mean, I know this look. I've seen this look. I've talked about it on my channel plenty, where I've seen, I don't know, what's a good example? The Killer Bees. I knew the name The Killer Bees. I've seen flashbacks, whatever, of the Killer Bees, but like, I never, until I started collecting LJNs, right? I never knew B. Brian Blair. I never knew Jim Brunzell. I never knew the names of the characters. So I've seen this look plenty, but I never really followed them in my lifetime, so I don't really have any history or knowledge of these characters. I think because of the price tag of this set of figures, I didn't buy multiple pieces. I think I only bought one. But I am going to go ahead and open this. For the sake of this video, I wanted to be able to have the loose pit figures to show you guys. So today I did actually go ahead and order a second set. So I have a carded set. And maybe I was wrong. Maybe I did order another set from another time, but only one set came in, so I'm assuming I only ordered one. And I've got to be very meticulous when I open these packages. I don't just sit there and tear them open, so give me a second while I get underneath here. Try my best not to damage the cards, but man, they stick on here good. Yeah. I try to open these carefully so that if I ever have to like put them back in and tape them up or something, I could technically make them mint on card, but I mean, it doesn't look too bad. I mean, you're gonna notice that it's open, but if I ever had to like sell this 20 years in the future, tape them up, it's better than having nothing at all, right? You guys see what LJN cards sell for by themselves. You guys see what Hasbro cards sell for by themselves. So whenever I open up these cards, I don't just sit there, squeeze the bubble, rip it. I try to save these cards and bubbles because I think they still hold value. So this is Jacques Rougeau and his brother Raymond. And let me take off the... Alright, so it's a simple figure. I like the colors. I do. I think they're unique color scheme. The hand up like that, I'm not a fan of that. You see a number of figures that kind of have that. That's hands out like this. That it should always be like so. It kind of gives you like the uppercut punch, I guess. So maybe it works. I mean, it's not really going to make much of a difference. I mean, you're still going to treat it like an actual punch, right? So it's not like it hurts the figure. But Jacques Rougeau, no matter how much I like the figure, I will still gravitate. Do I have him here? I do not. I will still gravitate towards the Hasbro Series 5 Mountie figure. Even the Quebecers that were released by Hasstel Toys. Fantastic figures. I still like the Mountie the best from Hasbro. But just because you have a preference doesn't mean that you can't enjoy the figures that do come out. So, and again, I'm so used to looking at these figures. So when I get stuff in from Hasstel Toys, when I get stuff in from Zombie Sailors, when I get stuff in from Roush Collectibles and Cella Toys / Epic Toys, I'm so used to looking for that action feature that it just doesn't have. And I think when you look at the back, you know what? It actually says British Bulldog 97 on the back of the card. So I was talking about European Championship, and that's exactly what this is. At least that was my idea based on the design, where I was going with it. So his look during that era or during that year, okay. So I wasn't off at all. That's good. And what does the Rojo say? It does not say anything. But you kind of look at the look on the back, right? It kind of makes you feel like maybe they have some kind of action feature, but not really. Oh man, they got, you know what? They do got Coco Bware. I think I ordered Coco Bware in the past, but today, because I was ordering a second set of the 2-pack, I ordered another Coco and I ordered someone else. And who was it? A name I didn't recognize, but I don't know if I ordered them in the past. I probably did. Alright, so that is Jacques. Every time I talk about Jacques Rougeau, the same story always pops in my head. Because I think it's a funny story, but I kind of like an asshole story at the same time. you kind of think about you think about Billington, you think about the Dynamite Kid, and think about and you think about like Chihuahuas, man. Small dogs, big attitudes. Dynamite Kid, smaller guy, but big attitude. But you know what? The man was absolutely fantastic in the ring, though. He was a great worker, great performer, great athlete. And according to Jacques, he was a freaking asshole to him. When you're grown adults and you guys are wrestlers and you're trained professionals, trained fighters, essentially, I don't understand the whole screwing with each other type of deal. You know you're gonna basically kick each other's teeth in. So the story goes that he basically, I guess, he filled up a sock with coins and then just knocked the snot out of him. He knocked the snot out of Dynamite Kid and broke some teeth or something. And Bad News Brown, who was on the side of the British Bulldogs, didn't take too kindly to that. I gotta go back and watch those interviews again because they're extremely interesting. I've heard both Brown and Rojo, they both did shoot interviews where they talked about that, and I want to meet Bad News Brown in real life. Is he still alive? You know, I think he may have died recently, not too long ago, because I think he has some of the best interviews. Him and Greg Valentine, I think, do some of the best interviews. But so kind of like another one of your extended arms. I'm okay with this figure. I mean, it's what I say. You don't want to keep giving your especially your tag teams, you don't want to keep giving your figures the exact same pose, or you don't want to sit there and you don't want to mirror your figures. You want to give them their own unique fighting pose. So I like this one. I like the fact that the figures are two different poses. So Hasstel Toys, huge thumbs up in that regard. Both figures look absolutely incredible. Poses are fantastic. Look is great. And you know what? Another fantastic tag team to add to the collection. And I understand why Hasstel Toys created basically two sets of the Rougeaus. Just like a lot of these companies out there, you know, they got to get permission from so-and-so before they can create their likeness, right? And release their figures. And if they've already got permission from the Rougeaus, so they're going to be able to release multiple versions of the figures, especially since they got multiple gimmicks, so understandable. And you know what? It's okay. I'm perfectly fine with that. I'm trying to think of different characters that may have played multiple gimmicks. There's not many tag teams that I could think of. Off the top of my head, actually, I can't think of a single tag team out there that played the same tag team or were the same characters but had like multiple tag team names. I'm thinking someone out there is going to say Road Warriors and Legion of Doom, but it's the exact same thing. Literally, when you look at the AWA Rimcos, it literally says Legion of Doom Road Warriors right on the box, so you could always call them by the same name regardless, so they're interchangeable. But we got Raymond, and like I said, guys, it's just basically looking at the figures, because I don't have a whole lot to say about these characters from the 80s. I didn't grow up watching these characters. I was, hell, depending on when these guys were wrestling, I probably wasn't even born yet. And if I was, we're talking infant. 2 years old, 3 years old, I don't know. But I love the capes, man. Anytime you give any figure an accessory, it's pretty awesome. So with this respective video, at some point when maybe at the end of the year, I might go back and do a Hasstel Toys review again. I think last year at some point I did a review of all the figures that came out at one point, which was probably like, I don't know, 11 figures at that time. They probably doubled that number by now, or I don't want to say tripled, but they got a whole lot more than double, I think. 25, 27, I don't know the number, but I think they got a lot more than that. But I might just come out and do another review video of all of the Hasstel toys, and that way it gives viewers the opportunity to literally see every figure that they've come out with. And it would be nice if they did it by series. That would be interesting as well, because like even when you look at the back of this wall here, for example, the first set of Hasstel toys figures, it goes from like blue card to a couple black cards to some orange cards, back to blue cards, and pretty much everything else has been blue cards since. So it doesn't really help you define series by series. I would like it to be broken down by series. I think that would be, instead of just saying, hey, here's our new release, I would love to have a series associated with it. If I'm a collector and I say, okay, Series 1 had 8 figures. Series 2 had 4 figures. Series 3 had 11 figures. I'd rather break it down by like that than just purchase figures randomly. But that's it for now, guys. As always, thank you for giving me your time and watching the video. Hopefully you did enjoy it and you enjoyed the new figures. These figures should still be available on the Hasstel Toys website, so if you're interested, you're looking about $80 for the tag team set, $40 for the single figure. So if you get them on eBay, you might win them on auction for cheaper, but highly unlikely. Plus, you're paying shipping costs, so you're getting free shipping through Hasstel Toys, so that's another additional bonus. At any point, if they do sell out, and if I end up with any multiple figures more than I need, I'll let you guys know. And, of course, I'll be able to sell them to you for what I paid. I won't be sitting there charging you major upscale prices or anything like that. So, and that's pretty much for any figure I get. You never have to worry about paying like 3 times, 4 times the price on eBay or Mercari for it. Just that if I have anything that's a 3rd copy, 4th copy of a figure, if I have it available, let me know, and we can work something out. But again, guys, that's it for now. Thanks. Talk to you in the comments, and see you in the next video. Take care, everybody.